Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday edition of Chat with Nessa. I'm so excited to have Soncere with us. This is a phenomenal woman that I've got to know just a little bit over the past, a little bit over a month from a good friend of mine. And this is not only a phenomenal woman of faith, but this woman actually is a mother, an author, a busy entrepreneur, an advocate for women, and she's the CEO and founder of Capital Publishing LLC. And she's not only an author, she helps other authors realize their dreams. And she also has a consultation business, coaching services for independent authors. Also, beginning of the pandemic last April 2020, she founded a platform for women that is phenomenal. We're going to really talk about that a lot tonight, called the Women's Confidence Tour. And this tour is designed to motivate, elevate, build confidence on a global level for women, even in the middle of a global pandemic. So I don't welcome Soncere to Chat with Nessa. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here, Nessa. Thank you so much.
And it's been such a blessing to get to know you. Just a little short time I've known you, a woman of faith, which I love your story. I love the fact that you're a woman of faith and doing so much in the community for other women. So I want to get this interview started. Now, you're very busy. Now, the mother of four, wife, STEM professional. We're going to define STEM. Some people may not know what that is. Author, entrepreneur, and advocate for the advancement of women. So growing up, my first question is, growing up, what was your overall goal? Was all of this your goal, to be an author, an entrepreneur, and a STEM professional? What was your particular goal as a little girl growing up?
As a little girl growing up, I always dreamed of being a mother, a wife, and working in computers, and I didn't know what that meant. So as I started to matriculate through junior high school, I started taking more of an interest in the math and sciences, and I was drawn to computers and programming and how to figure out how they work. And so I knew at an early age, probably seventh or eighth grade, that was my plan forward. I'm an only child and I wanted to have a large family. So I told everyone since I was little I was going to have 5 children. Actually, I birthed 4, but I did raise another one, a family member. So I did get the 5 kids that I wanted. I went to school. To study math and computer science. I have a BS, a double major. I was a double major in math and computer science. And then I went on to get my master's in aeronautical science. And so I didn't dream of being an author. That has unfolded over my life based upon a lot of the experiences that I have been through.
Wow. Now, what led? Now, I want to define STEM for a lot of people: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes, it
That's
is.
very impressive because it's not a lot, still not a lot of women in that field. It's growing, but very
Right.
impressive. Your education. You didn't grow up dreaming of being an author. That eventually developed.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that journey between STEM professional and that becoming an author and a publisher.
Absolutely. So I have been in the STEM profession since I was 21. It's been over 30 years that I have. It's been 30 years actually this year that I've been in working in the profession. I graduated and went right into my field. The field is dominantly male dominated, so there's not a lot of women in the field. But I've always was interested in how things work, how to disband them and put them back together. I just had an interest in doing that. So initially, I started out as a computer developer. I was programming and writing code. And then because I do have a way with people, I went into a lot of the leadership roles, leading teams to do that. So currently, I lead teams of engineers, computer scientists, and computer specialists. Over those years, I enjoy the work that I do. I enjoy helping others. I go back to schools and help students transition, talk to them about the STEM professions and the money that's associated with it, the opportunities that are associated with it. And so along the way, I want to say around 2012, I had significant losses in my life. I had my college roommate who happened to be my childhood friend. She passed away suddenly. My cousin, who grew up more like a brother, him and I both were the only child. He had a massive stroke, and my uncle passed away, all in a short period of time. And so at that time, my foundation was rocked. And during that time, I just, I just was having a hard time just coping with all the loss at one point. And so through those conversations, I started to pray a lot and started to rebuild my relationship with God. I always had it. The foundation was there. I grew up in church, but I don't think I spent enough time, raising a family, having a really busy, demanding career. I didn't spend enough time building that relationship with God. So I decided to do that at that time because I needed help. And during that process, I heard God clearly tell me that, if you want to build a relationship, you're going to have to do some things you may not want to do. And so one of those things he whispered to me was to start a daily prayer conference to get me better disciplined with praying on a regular basis. So I did that. I picked up the phone, I got a 1-800 number, and I set up a conference call every morning at 8 o'clock, every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. I tried to negotiate with God, but he wasn't having it. I asked for 5 days. He said no. I said 6 days. He said no. So 7 days it is. And fast forward 9 years later, and I'm still at it with the prayer conference every morning at 6 o'clock a.m. And so through that journey, that first 2 year period, I was every morning praying, talking about a topic for the day, and just fellowshipping with women across the country. And it was laid on my heart then to write a book, turn those prayers into a book. And so I started writing in 2012. And it took me until 2019 to actually publish the book. I title myself, I went from self-sabotage to self-published, because all over those years, I was self-sabotaging why I couldn't do it, why I was so busy. I had so many kids. I had to do this. My kids going to college. I had everything in front of what God was telling me to do, and I made excuses, and it didn't do me any good. And so then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I've got to get this book out. I with a traditional publisher. I got to the point where I was ready to ship them my content, and they wanted it so quickly without talking about what was going to be my residuals. What am I going to benefit from working with you? And all they wanted to concentrate on is just give me your content, sign the contract. And it made me uncomfortable. And as I started talking to them more, they were talking about like 7 cents on a book. This was
Mm-hmm.
my labor of love I had worked hard on from 2012 to 2019, and I did not feel comfortable giving it up. So I made the decision that I was going to forfeit the money I had given the publishing company for my package that I picked out, and I was gonna figure out this journey on my own. At that time, I didn't know anybody who had published a book, and I didn't know anything. I just went into research mode, and I started, researching online and talking to other people who were doing it and figuring out what the process would be. And that way I had more control over it. And it really wasn't about making the dollar, but it was about losing my dollar when I was going with a big publishing company. So I'm doing everything my own. I'm financing everything myself. In addition to that, I'm on my own schedule and timeline. Whether I sell 10 books a week, 20 books, or 10,000, it's fine with me because I'm in control.
Wow, wow. Now I know that you saw birth publishing, and now you also mentor and help other authors. That's
That's
very exciting. That's very exciting. So how many when you started the Capital S Publishing, did you initially envision that you would be also helping other authors and mentoring them as well?
I did not. I did not have that on my radar. I did this selfishly for me. It was a way for me to put out my product, and I thought I would just publish my one book and be done. But I did. I got really good reviews, and I had a lot of people asking me, how did I do it? How did I create the business? And they were asking me lots of questions about it and asking me, do you coach people, and do you have a program, or do you have a checklist? And so that stimulated to me to say, you know what, I have this audience that's requested these things and I know how to do it. I need to marry the two together. And so I started to expand the company. And my target audience are those individuals who have books in their heads. They've been thinking about it and they haven't published it, and first time authors that have their content complete. If you are an author and you have content that you've written and you're not sure what to do with it, you don't know where to go, I'm the company that you come to because I can get you your product in your hand within 30 days.
Wow. Now, I do know a few people that need your services, and probably including me. I started writing one 20 years ago, put it down, took care of my parents for 6 years, and then put it back down 3 years ago. So I'm in the middle, and you're the ideal person. I'm probably going to come right to you because I'm that kind of person. I know a couple of you that need your services. That's phenomenal because a lot of people don't know the process, and you've studied it, you've mastered it, and now that's phenomenal that God is using you to reach back and give back to so many people
Yeah,
in that way.
I am interested in helping other authors become
Yes.
independent authors and publishers. I am not interested in taking anybody's royalties. The services that you would pay are for my time and the knowledge that I have that I can impart it on you. And then my hope is that you would do the same for somebody else. And so I will help set you up so that you put your content on platform and which you can be the sole beneficiary of. I am not in the middle of any of that. I have enough to take care of on my own, and I do not want to be responsible for anybody else's finances. So my goal is to take your hand and work with you and partner with you until you're able to get your book in your hand. And I'm going to teach you, just like someone taught you how to ride your bike, how to keep on pedaling after that.
That's phenomenal. I think that's just phenomenal. That's a ministry within itself on top of the prayer ministry. The prayer ministry is 9 years old. And now
Wow,
the publishing company, what year did you start the publishing company?
2019. It's very new.
Wow. But to have that platform and all these people coming to you who need assistance, that's phenomenal. Because there's a lot of people out here, they do want your money. I want those people, I've been approached a couple times. Oh, just send the manuscript. Just
Right,
send it. I'm like,
right,
just send it.
right. I had problems with that. I couldn't let it go. It's like, this is my baby. You can't have it.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I really want to move to my favorite part of this whole interview. In 2020, God gave you a vision, created a virtual women's conference, April 2020, beginning of the pandemic, and it's called the Women's Confidence Tour. What was your vision behind the creation of the conference?
Well, I'd like to say I didn't have a vision at all when I started. And it may be hard to believe that I'm on conference number 4 without a vision, but honestly, that's what happened. So I was sitting in the kitchen, talking to my family, and I was thinking I had so many conversations with family, friends, and colleagues, other African American women who are at home. Their children are now at home, their husbands are now at home, and there's anxiety that is out of the roof. Everyone's anxious, not sure what's going to happen because of this pandemic. And we as the women were bearing the burden of a lot of that, holding it in and trying to reassure everyone that it's going to be okay. And so I thought to myself, how are we going to sustain ourselves if we keep doing this? Because we don't know how long this is going to last. And so God placed in my heart, and because of everything I've been through from 2012 up until now, I've learned to listen to when God speaks. He was like, I want you to have a conference, a virtual conference, and get women together so you can help build their confidence. And I'm thinking, okay, God, I don't know how to do that. I've never organized a conference before. I don't even know if I know enough women that would come. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try. So I picked up the phone. I called about 8 people, and immediately everyone said, yes, 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 yes. If you have it, I will come speak. And I said, okay, I guess I'm doing this. I have 8 people who said yes in one matter of an hour.
Hmm.
And so then that's when the platform was created. I came up with the Women's Confidence Tour as the name. I enlisted a bunch of women-owned businesses to come in and vend at the first conference. And so after the speaker spoke, vendors came in for 5 or 10 minutes and talked about their product or service. I created a vendor list to share with the folks who attended the conference, the first one. And it was a lovely event. I had no idea. It lasted from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. 240 women registered, and I think I had probably 200 at 6 o'clock, which was amazing.
Wow. Wow. And then this is conference number 4 coming
Number
up this Saturday.
this Saturday, which you
Now,
featured speaker.
yeah. Yes, and I'm a little nervous, but I'll calm down by then. Now, because you have the conference, what is each conference? Does it have a different purpose or different message to each conference? And if so, what's the message for this Saturday's conference?
Yes, each conference has a different theme. And for this particular conference, the theme is fit and favored, physically, financially, and spiritually. And so the 10 presenters that I have, all female, are going to speak amongst that topic. Some will speak on being fit and favored financially, some will talk about being favored spiritually, but everyone will bring a message that is connected to the theme of the conference. And I'm telling you, this is going to be fire. Each one of them are just outstanding. I've gotten such great feedback, how the speakers have actually implemented, sparked some things to change in the attendees' lives. My mother happened to be one of them. One of the speakers talked about self-care and going for your dreams and doing the things you always wanted. My mother ordered a piano and started teaching herself lessons because she said she always wanted to play. And so there's things
Mhm.
like that I have gotten great feedback from. I've even benefited, of course, from attending the conference. I'm a fan myself. It's like I'm not the one hosting. It's God's thing, and I'm just helping see it through. So I'm very excited about this being number 4. Thus far, last checked, it was 239 people registered for Saturday's event.
Yes, and I will make sure that that link for registration is placed under this broadcast, along with your website for those who want, your coaching and your leadership on becoming an author. And so, my next question would be: now, I want you to speak directly to authors and women entrepreneurs because it's not always an easy journey. So, what would be your message to women who desire to become an author or entrepreneur? They're at the very beginning stages. They need a little guidance. And I know you're both, you're an entrepreneur and an author. What would be your message to them? Their early stages, they have an idea, you said they have the idea in their head. They haven't written anything down, or they have a business that they feel like God wants them to start. They haven't even begun to start. What would be your message or your advice to somebody just starting out?
My first message would be is to pray and just make sure that what you're receiving is of God and from God. And once you get that confirmation, my suggestion is to go out into the world and contact someone who's doing what you would like to do. Most people don't mind talking to you for free, for that matter, for what they're doing, especially if they know that you have an interest in going in that direction. And so for me, I would have reached out to someone who's published a book. It doesn't have to be someone you know. Right now, we're in this wonderful opportunity where everyone's on the internet, everyone's on social media, everyone's at home. There is so much knowledge and so much information at our disposal right now. There's this new app called Clubhouse. You
Oh,
can,
yes.
if you have an iPhone, and there is a wealth of information that you can download and get from people that are experts in that industry. So my advice would be is to speak with someone, hire a coach, get a mentor, someone that can help you reach and attain those goals that you've been thinking about for years, because thinking about them for years is not going to make them happen. And so sometimes we need a little push from someone to help us be accountable and lay those things out and see that they are attainable and how you can get there. And that's what a coach will help you do. A mentor can teach you and develop you and give you techniques and skills on how to get to where it is you want to go. So if you want to be an author, you should find someone that is an author and help them so that they can help you mentor you get to where you'd like to go. Or you can contact Capital S Publishing and we can help you do that as well.
Yes, and it will definitely have your website so they know how to directly reach out for your coaching, your mentorship. And I really believe as a Christian too, it's important that if you are a Christian, that your mentorship is someone is of like faith. That's important to me. My mom was a minister for 40 years, and she passed in 2017 to be with the Lord. But that's always very important to me. That it's as you see, it's just a very important to me. So that I will definitely reach out to you because I know that you're a woman of God, a woman of faith, and that to me, when I say to people, mentorship is you pray about it, but if you see someone that is of like faith, like spirit, know she's a woman of God or a man of God, and they have that ministry already in what you want to attain. Like I said, I've been in a process for 15 years of writing this book. That
Right.
the guidance of someone that's of like faith to me is just so important. So I want to thank you for your service. I just wanted to mention that. That's
Thank
very important to me. So also, you're a mother of four. You're
you.
still 30 years as a STEM professional,
Yes.
speaking at schools, giving back to the community, have the publishing company. How do you find the balance? And what would be your advice? Because you look, it's a lot going on right now in families. The balance. Where is the balance? Advice to women who are at home. They have different hats to wear. You're wearing several. So
So
where do you find your balance? Oh, and
I'm
your prayer ministry. We can't forget that. That's 9 years.
My balance is me being grounded every morning to prayer, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, whether I'm feeling bad, whether I'm on vacation, wherever I am. That is what I need. I think as women, we have to find out what it is that we need to be able to take care of ourselves. And when we come to a situation or a hardship and we need to ground ourselves, we need to know what that is. How do you go back to source to reset? Because that's all it is. Balance is about resetting. When you feel like you're out of control and things are just out of balance, it's somehow you have to figure out how to press the reset button. How do you keep yourself to a place where you could say, no, because we as women don't say no enough. We have to know our bodies, listen to our minds and our spirits because God is always talking to us. I am no expert at balance. I can tell you, I stumbled across all of this success. I am a self-professed busybody. And so when my body is just resting and idle, I feel like I need to be doing something. I have ideas all the time. I have 3 whiteboards. I'm waking last night I was up at 2 o'clock writing notes down on my board, because I'm laying in the bed thinking, "You know what? Maybe this confidence tour needs to have some sort of editorial, like a magazine, um,
Oh,
Woman's Confidence magazine that comes out electronically on a quarterly basis. And then what am I going to include in this? And so all these ideas were coming to me in the middle of the night. I get up,
wow.
I write it on the board. And so you have to figure out what works for you because what works for Soncere may not work for Vanessa, may not work for Stacy or Tasha. And so I am very careful with trying to give women advice on balance because I just don't have the answer. I can tell you that I go to my source to get the strength to do what it is that I need. And each of us have a different assignment. And so some of us are to support those who have a heavier load than others. And others are built to carry those heavy loads. And so
Mm.
you have to determine that with your God, what it is that your purpose is, so that you can figure out how to keep yourself grounded and how to balance out all the things that you like to do and all the things that God has ordained you to do.
Wow. What very powerful message. That magazine. Now, I know you all. I also read that you have some plans in 2022 for a 7-city tour for the Women's Conference Confidence Tour. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is that still developing?
It's still developing. And I was in a clubhouse room one day listening to these powerful, awesome Black women speak about their journey doing business outside of the United States. And I get goosebumps talking about it because I had never, and I'm going to tell you, I never had thought about what I'm doing, even fathom taking it to a different platform outside of the United States. And I happened to get on stage and talk about what I was doing. And these women were like, why aren't you taking this conference to Dubai? Why aren't you taking this conference to Africa? Why
Woo.
women all over the world need to hear this message? And you should consider that. And honestly, I knew it was the right thing because the hairs on my arm started to stand up. It is doing that right now because I had never even thought about that. So I've made the decision that the 7 cities, I'm going to do 2 of them out of the country. And I am definitely going to do the rest of them in the US. And I'm starting with Atlanta. I don't have the dates yet, but I'm working out the details as we speak. So I will hopefully be 7 conferences in the 8th one will be in the open when the world opens back up, and we'll be able to fellowship with one another and enjoy each other's presence.
That's so exciting to me. It's very exciting.
Very
That is
excited.
phenomenal. So I know the conference is 2 days away,
Yes.
and I want you to speak directly to the women who have not registered. They're going to have the link after this, and tell them, why do you feel they should register, and what's some of the things they can expect from this Saturday's conference?
Okay, so listen here, ladies. Listen, ladies. Saturday, February 20th, 2021 at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Women's Confidence Tour #4 is going down. It's going to be fire. We have 10 phenomenal speakers. They're all African American women. They are experts and experienced in their own right. Each one of them are going to come to the stage and present information to you, a story or experience or some of their gifts and talents. They're going to share with you some of the methods that they use. And they're going to be talking about being fit and favored financially, spiritually, and physically. And hopefully, when you click on that link to get your ticket for the Eventbrite event that's happening on Saturday, you will be in the room with many of the women whose lives are going to be transformed. You never know where the message is going to come from. You never know how God is going to speak to you. And many times he speaks through others right directly to your soul. This is an opportunity for you to grow your network, for you to meet new people. And if you have a business, or if you have a book or a product or a service, this is an opportunity to get in a room with 240 other women and to be able to share that. I do send out information about the speakers, and you will be able to reach them and contact them. And many of them will be offering free services or discount services to people who attend. This conference is free. Free, free, for free, free, free. So I am encouraging you to get your auntie, your mama, your cousin, your best friend, your sister. You could bring your daddy, you could bring your brother, you bring your uncle. This is a woman's confidence tour, and sometime in order for us to remain confident, we do need some support. So if you want to bring your male counterpart, you bring them on. Just go ahead to Eventbrite and register, because I want to see all of your faces there.
That's great. And I have like 10 people registered. My husband's even going to register. I said, you can get something out of this. I think a guy can join too. But I
Mhm.
just want to make sure people will know this link will be under the broadcast, along with your capitalpublishing.net, capitalspublishing.net website, your email address. People can reach out to you directly, especially the people, authors, need coaching,
Yes,
entrepreneurs, they need a mentor.
yes.
I just want to thank you, because I know you're so busy with so many hats to wear. And thank you for this opportunity to get to know you. And I'm excited about Saturday. And women, when this is a day of faith, I'm excited myself, because we're going to learn so many new things. And,
Yes,
thank God for using you
yes,
and your story and your testimony.
yes.
I'm very excited. And people will have this phenomenal woman, Soncere's, information right under this broadcast, and register tonight, because we're only 2 days away from this exciting conference where your life can be changed. And this is, I know it's a mission and a vision that God gave you. You said this is all God. Like you said,
Oh
yeah,
God.
it's all God.
It's
So
all
I'm
God. And you know how you can tell when it's all God? Because when you step away, it continues. And it's not about the person. When I'm sick and I can't speak and I'm too tired to wake up on a prayer conference, there's another person that just jumps in. We haven't identified who that person is going to be. God puts that person in place to be able to
hmm
step up. And so when God is in control, nothing can stop it. So, ladies, this is your opportunity to jump in on this conference while it's still in its infancy stages. And when we hit the road, you can pack your bags and come with us.
Yes, yes. And so I want to thank you, Miss Soncere, for your time. A phenomenal woman, author, entrepreneur. Mom is very important. Okay,
Yes.
mother,
And what?
wife. in Jersey, Jersey. My husband's a New Yorker, so we
Mhm.
have family in Jersey, New York, and Philly. So I love, I'm always in New York, and this is the first time our anniversary was yesterday. We did not go to New York because it feels strange to be home in Maryland. But thank you for your service and what you provide. Again, your website will be there, your email, so authors or women who even have different ideas that they want to run past you as a
Absolutely.
mentor can
Absolutely.
contact this phenomenal woman. So
Absolutely.
thank you for your time, and I'm going to see you Saturday,
Yes.
and you'll hear from me soon this evening, later on, and next week. I just want to say we have the phenomenal Eileen, who you actually I just met her today. That you referred to me. So networking is powerful because
Powerful.
I came to you and I said, "Look, I need your help," and she's going to be my guest next Thursday. So thank you for your already mentorship and referrals and networking, and that's the power of networking and is women who are women of God. So I just want to thank you for that.
I'm honored to be here, Vanessa. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm excited for Saturday. I'll see you soon, and thank you for being my guest this evening on Chat with Nessa. Talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, thank you.